Are these the top 10 most important characters of the Third Age of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit? What do you think? 10. Éowyn, the Shield Maiden of Rohan, is a standout female character in The Lord of the Rings. She is King Theoden's niece and a brave and beloved woman, who stands by her uncle when he falls ill under the influence of Saruman and Grima Wormtongue. Restored by Gandalf during the War of the Ring, King Theoden orders Éowyn to lead the people while the men ride into battle. Despite her eagerness to fight alongside the men, she is repeatedly denied, leading her to disguise herself as a man and ride into battle with Merry Brandybuck. During the battle, she valiantly defends her uncle and confronts the Witch King of Angmar, ultimately bringing an end to his reign of terror with her iconic declaration, "I am no man." 9. Legolas, the Prince of the Woodland Realm, is the only son of the King of the Elves of Northern Mirkwood, Thranduil. He brings a message to Lord Elrond about the escape of Gollum and volunteers to represent the elves in the Fellowship. A masterful archer and skilled swordsman, Legolas forms a deep bond with his friend Gimli and displays unwavering loyalty to his companions. 8. Gimli, Lord of the Glittering Caves, is a dwarf of the House of Durin and a member of the Fellowship. Despite initial mistrust, he forms a strong friendship with Legolas and plays a vital role in the Battle of the Hornburg. Known for his strength and comedic relief, Gimli is fiercely loyal to his friends and wields his weapons with great skill. 7. Peregrine Took, Thane of the Shire, is the youngest friend of Frodo and best friend of Merry. He joins the Fellowship at the insistence of Gandalf and proves his courage and loyalty in various battles and encounters, including defeating an Olog High and participating in the scouring of the Shire. 6. Meriadoc Brandybuck, Master of Buckland, is a close friend of Frodo and the most intelligent of the hobbits. Captured by Uruk Hai with Pippin, he escapes and later plays a crucial role in aiding Éowyn during the battle against the Witch King. 5. Frodo Baggins, the bearer of the One Ring. Frodo is the central character in The Lord of the Rings and the individual who undertook the task of carrying the One Ring to Mount Doom. Bilbo Baggins adopted him shortly after his parents' passing. On his 111th birthday, Bilbo gifted the One Ring to Frodo before departing for Rivendell. Following Gandalf's advice, Frodo embarked on his own journey to Rivendell, accompanied by Merry, Pippin, and Sam, while evading the Black Riders. In the Lord of the Rings books, the hobbits received assistance from Tom Bombadil before Aragorn escorted him to Rivendell. Frodo assumed the immense responsibility of being the ring-bearer and commenced his journey to Mordor, with his loyal friend Samwise Gamgee constantly by his side. However, the Fellowship disbanded shortly after Boromir attempted to take the ring from Frodo, and Sam and Frodo continued their journey alone. Frodo faced numerous perils on the journey to Mordor, threatened by Gollum, the Nazguls, orcs, and Shelob. Fortunately, Sam was there at every turn, ensuring Frodo's survival even when he was not himself. Similar to his uncle, Frodo was considered somewhat peculiar by other hobbits and possessed great kindness and compassion. Despite Sam's evident distrust, he allowed Gollum to guide him to Mordor. This decision ultimately led to the ring's destruction, as had Frodo listened to Sam and slain Gollum when they first met, no one would have been there to bite off Frodo's finger and cause the ring to fall into Mount Doom. 4. Galadriel, the Lady of Lorien. Galadriel is the most significant elf and one of the oldest beings alive, having been born before the First Age. She arrived in Middle-earth with aspirations of ruling over the lands and remained, even after being offered passage to Valinor. In the Second Age of Middle-earth, Galadriel was entrusted with Nenya, the Ring of Water, one of the 3 rings of elves, though she only utilized its powers in the Third Age, after Sauron's defeat and the loss of the One Ring. She bestowed a gift upon each member of the Fellowship when it was initially formed and was responsible for rescuing and nursing Gandalf back to health, subsequently dressing him in white. Throughout the history of Middle-earth, the Lady Galadriel played many crucial roles, and author J.R.R. Tolkien deemed her the mightiest and fairest of all the elves living in Middle-earth during the Third Age. Galadriel is among the most influential characters in the Lord of the Rings films. Many found it challenging to comprehend her powers, and it was said that she could only be overcome if Sauron himself engaged in battle. She was instrumental in destroying the foundations of Dol Guldur, and her extensive wisdom and intelligence allowed her to see through Sauron's deceit. She is one of the few characters who managed to resist the temptation of the ring, understanding that accepting it could lead her to become as dreadful as Sauron. 3. Aragorn LSR, the High King of the Dunedain. Aragorn was a mortal man, a ranger of the north, and the future king of Gondor and Arnor. Elrond and the Elves of Rivendell raised him after his father's passing. After falling in love with Elrond's daughter Éowyn, Aragorn returned to his people, and they began guarding the lands of the Shire, home to the Hobbits. He played a pivotal role in numerous battles and, before the events of The Lord of the Rings, he and Éowyn pledged themselves to each other but were forbidden from marrying until Aragorn became the King of Gondor and Arnor. Aragorn joined the Fellowship of the Ring after Frodo volunteered to bear the burden of the ring and destroy it in the fires of Mount Doom. He guided the Fellowship through Moria. After Gandalf's apparent loss, Aragorn assumed leadership of the Fellowship. Following the Fellowship's dissolution, he, Gimli, and Legolas set out to rescue Merry and Pippin, who had been captured by orcs, and to defeat Saruman and his armies. After triumphing in the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, Aragorn and his forces marched to Mordor to confront Sauron's armies while Frodo completed the final leg of his journey and ultimately destroyed the ring. Once Sauron was vanquished, Aragorn was crowned king and married Éowyn shortly after. Aragorn was a sagacious man, possessing the wisdom of an elf due to his upbringing, and a formidable warrior. 2. Gandalf was the wisest of the Maiar and was often associated with fire and light. He was apprehensive about being sent to Middle-earth due to his perceived weakness and fear of confronting Sauron, but his creator encouraged him. Upon arriving, he chose to wander rather than settle in one place and never ventured east. The elves soon named him Mithrandir, Grey Pilgrim, and the men called him Gandalf. It was later revealed that he was the most powerful of the Istari in Middle-earth. He became a member of the White Council. Eventually, he crossed paths with the Hobbits, whom he quickly befriended and became known for being responsible for so many quiet lads and lasses going off into the blue for mad adventures. During one of his travels, Gandalf encountered King Thrain, a dwarf who had vanished on his journey to Erebor, and gave Gandalf a map and key to Erebor. This encounter also led Gandalf to learn about Sauron's gradual resurgence. Subsequently, Gandalf met Thorin Oakenshield, the exiled dwarf king and rightful heir to the kingdom under the mountain. The two devised a plan to defeat the dragon Smaug and reclaim what was rightfully Thorin's. He departed from the company to help eliminate Sauron's influence at Dol Guldur, but promptly returned upon discovering that the company had lost their path in Mirkwood. Upon Gandalf's arrival, he found the dwarves preparing to engage the Lake Men and the Elves of Mirkwood, and he promptly intervened, forging an alliance between them to confront the orcs seeking to claim the treasure. Following the Battle of the Five Armies, Gandalf was gratified by Smaug's defeat and escorted Bilbo back to the Shire, developing a keen interest in hobbits from then on. As Sauron's power increased, Gandalf later encountered Aragorn, and the two deliberated his eventual downfall. It was only on Bilbo's 111th birthday that Gandalf realized he possessed the One Ring, persuading Bilbo to entrust it to Frodo. After the Fellowship's formation, Gandalf succumbed to the depths while battling the Balrog, and his apparent loss devastated everyone. However, he was later resurrected as Gandalf the White, returning to aid the fractured Fellowship and muster the dwarves, men, and elves for the impending clash against Saruman. He played a crucial role in leading the forces in the final battle at the Black Gate of Mordor, diverting the eye of Sauron from Frodo and his quest. Following Sauron's defeat and Aragorn's coronation, Gandalf departed Middle-earth alongside Bilbo, Elrond, Frodo, and Galadriel. 1. Samwise Gamgee, Mayor of Mitchell Delving Sam, is arguably the most compelling character in both the books and movies of The Lord of the Rings. Initially Frodo's gardener and best friend, he became his companion for the quest of the ring at Gandalf's behest. Sam's unwavering support was instrumental in assisting Frodo in reaching Mount Doom to destroy the ring. Sam is the only character who willingly relinquishes the ring after briefly carrying it, steadfast even in the face of its temptations. When Frodo became incapacitated by the ring's influence, Sam unhesitatingly carried him the rest of the way. After his wife's passing, Sam joined Frodo in the Undying Lands, remaining a loyal friend until the end. Thanks for watching. Please comment if you liked a specific picture, and it would be so kind if you subscribed.